YouTube, and welcome back to another video. I'm definitely going to disclose two things right off the start. If you can't tell, I'm talking to you through a new lens. I finally got a vlogging camera, a Canon EOS M50. I know it's still on the older side, but let's face it, it's a big upgrade from my iPhone 11 camera. So I'm so excited to be using this for today's vlog. It's the first video that I make on this camera, so excuse any technicalities on it. And the second disclosure is excuse the background noise because it's raining. I have not tested the audio on the camera, so chances are it might be a little screwed up. But let's get right into the content of this video. Okay, you guys, so it's been a while since I last had a book chat here on my channel, and I found this very fun bingo game on Pinterest, and I thought that it was a good time to just sit down and chat with you guys and try to answer some of the slots in this bingo. And for a fun twist, I decided to try to answer or fill out each one of these without repeating book titles, because I know a few of them can be fitted into more than one, but I wanted to include as many books as I have read so far, so I'm going to try not to repeat books in answering them, and at the end we're gonna count how many I got out of the total. Okay, and I have the list here on my phone, so I'm just going to be reading it with you guys. So first, it says a book with a one-word title. This one is Yellowface for me by Rebecca Kuang. It's like a hyphenated word, I guess, but it's still a one-word title. Next we have a classic novel. For me, this one would be The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. It is very old, so I think it's a classic. A book that became a movie or a show. I must choose The Handmaid's Tale. I believe this one is streaming on Disney Plus, if I'm not mistaken. A twist in this one is that I've been liking the series more than I did the book. It's still not my favorite story or fiction or whatever. I found it really creepy, but it's the answer for this one. Then it says A Book with a Blue Cover, and that one goes to Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. If you've seen my previous videos, this book is my guilty pleasure. I thought it was so cute. A book with less than 150 pages. That would go to The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis. If y'all can tell, I've been reading a lot of C.S. Lewis this year. It's a pretty short one, but super powerful, and I think every time I read it again, I get something more out of it. A book set in a place you'd like to visit. This one goes to The Pianist. I really want to go to Warsaw. In general, I want to go to Europe, obviously, but I'm really wanting to visit Warsaw and like the whole war history. It's very important to me, so that's a place I would like to go to. A book with a purple cover. This one goes to The Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score, because it's got a gorgeous purple cover. A book based on a true story, The Last Jew of Treblinka. I don't know the author, I can't remember it right now, but that was certainly based on a true story. Super dramatic and heartbreaking book, but it was worth every word of it. A book about an animal or with an animal. Well, for this one I had to think a bit outside the box, and I chose the Empyrean series, like Fourth Wing, because it's with dragons, so that's an animal. A book that is part of a series, The Testaments, which is like the second part of The Handmaid's Tale. A book with more than 300 pages. That is Sunrise of the Reaping. It's got, I don't remember how many words it's got, but it's somewhere there. A book published this year. I'm very thrilled about this one because I don't think I've ever read books that are published in the same year. Like, I'm always very behind on my reading list, but this one is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, and it was really great. Not my favorite from her collection, but it certainly was a super fun read. A book with an orange cover. That would be The Great Alone by Christine Hanna, of course. A book in the romance genre. I've read way too many of these this year, so that was not difficult to find, but I think I choose In the Likely Event by Rebecca Jarros because I think that was kind of cute. Not my favorite for sure, but I like trying her different writing style in a romantic setting. A book in the historical fiction genre, and God knows I've read way too many of these this year as well. That would go to The Women Again by Christine Hanna. It was incredible. I cried, I yelled. You guys have to read it. A book published in your birth year. That would be, disclosure, 2001, but I haven't read any that I know of that was published that year. The closest one is The Kite Runner that was published in 2003, and it's one of my favorites. A book with a pink cover, and once again we have to go with Lucy Score and her book Things We Hide from the Light because it's got a gorgeous pinkish cover. A book by a new or a new to you author, I must pick from Emily Henry with Happy Place because I hadn't read her books until this year and I've been really enjoying them. A book that starts with B. I was not able to think of one for this category. I don't think I've read one, and maybe I have a list of all the books I've read and none of them start with B, so sorry. A book with a green cover. And same thing, I cannot think of one with a green cover. I guess the Testaments kind of have a little bit of green on their cover, but I've already used it to answer another one, so this one must go blank as well. A book with a number in the title, and that one would be Fourth Wing, of course. A book that takes place in a small town. Wow, where to choose from, right? That would be The Wedding People. It's basically based on a hotel, but it's downtown somewhere, I don't remember, but it's a small town. A book in the thriller or mystery genre. You guys won't believe that I am spacing out on this one. I can't remember what mystery have I read or a thriller. I don't think I have, unless you can count like Powerless, which I'm reading right now, but I think that's more like fantasy. So I think this one goes blank too. And finally, a book about a bookshop or library. Wow, again, all of them nowadays are based on that. I think I went with Funny Story because the protagonist works at a library and that's like her life or whatever. So that's the closest one I've got. Alright, so that would be all the 24 questions in the bingo. I think I got 21 out of 24 if I'm not mistaken. I don't think that was too bad. Actually, I was impressed that I was able to answer them as they went. And this was actually pretty fun. It gave me an excuse to ramble about the books I like. And now it's your turn to leave in the comments how many were you able to answer, and if you have any suggestions prompted by the list I just read to you guys. Thank you very much for following along. Once again, I'm so sorry for the audio if it was bad, and I look forward to filming so much more with you guys now that I have this beautiful piece of equipment. So until next time, goodbye.